Welcome back to the Bridge Between podcast. We know it's been a little while since you guys have seen us. We are here virtually via Zoom because Sosa is in Hawaii.
What up? Greetings from Kauai.
And of course, we have Raina here too. I'm Erica. And if you guys have been keeping tabs on us, you should know by now you can watch our podcast on YouTube. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And you can also find us on other streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. I think that covers all those. And also, if you enjoy our content, you could always continue to contribute to our creative ability, by buying us a coffee. That is at buymeacoffee.com/bridgebetween. So we're happy to be back. And before we jump on into some conversation here, I'm going to go ahead and do the card of the day. Well, cards of the day for us, like usual. So may these messages resonate with anyone and everyone who sees this. It's a timeless message, so it doesn't matter. It's whenever you happen to see the video. I have a new baby. This is the Archer's Career Oracle deck.
Yes, get that money.
Yes, the money. And it's peacock feathers because peacocks represent royalty and abundance and prosperity. And I also will be using my other deck, Archer's Answers Oracle deck, and throwing in tarot. You guys know how I do. This is the Native American tarot as well. So let's start off with the tarot and then expand on the story from there. Let's see. Universal message for the collective. May it resonate with anyone and everyone who sees this. Whenever you see it, truth be told. The message is the Fool. And I have a seasonal dry coffee, guys, so don't be worried about me if you see me coughing from time to time. Releasing energy. So we have the Fool. And I like this particular image of the Fool because down here, well, he has a coyote head, but down here it looks like a fox as well. And so in terms of animal guides right now, you guys may want to also, on your own time, look up the symbolism for a coyote and also a fox. But the Fool in this particular energy, I'm taking this to mean like trusting the lessons of life is what I'm hearing in this case. Like we are in a period of new beginnings starting. We are in a period of transition. And it's kind of like that unknown space where it's like, all right, I don't exactly know fully where this chapter is going, but hey, I'm trusting it. And it is giving me trickster energy vibes. But when I say trickster energy, it's more on the lines of like, the universe is going to teach you something that ultimately ends up being really amazing. But in the meantime, it feels like it's chaos, if that makes sense. You're like, whoa, why did you have to go at me that hard? You know, but I get the lesson now. It's that kind of a vibe. So, and it's a 0, and a 0 is, it's the step before the first step, if that makes sense. And then it's also 0 represents a portal energy and a womb energy of something being created. So things are beginning to move forward. I do feel, I keep hearing use your resources. So I hear that coming through as well. But let's expand on this message with the Archer's Career deck next. And even though it's a career deck, it can apply to any area of your life that you feel it's speaking to. So let's see what's going on. Universal message for the collective, truth be told. Luxury. Yes, I love it. So with this new beginning, even though you guys may not understand exactly how it's going to get there, this is about for first enjoying the luxuries that you already have, even if that luxury is as small as sleeping in today. Giving gratitude for the luxuries that you have. Luxury can be money, yes. Luxury can be having expensive things, yes. But luxury can also be an experience. Luxury can also be something that you're enjoying that isn't a necessity. So if you have like Hawaii, Sosa's in Hawaii, that's a freaking luxury right there, even and just sitting out there. So give gratitude for the luxury that you have now. More will come, more will manifest in whatever form that you are trying to manifest luxury in, even if it's a trip. or handbags, if that's your thing. Let's go ahead and see Archer's Answers Oracle. What else is going on? Okay, so my clairaudience is kicking in. I don't know if you guys know that song by Genuine, Same OG. So that one is tapping in, and I take that to mean that like remain humble and be true to yourself, because that song is about like, even though he's famous and all this stuff, he's the same OG. So it's like Spirit is just saying, you know what, some of you are really about to tap into some amazing heights, or maybe you are just growing with time, and yes, you can become a new version of you. Always reinvent yourself. You're supposed to change, but there's still a part of you that still needs to continue to remain humble and just remember your roots. And that's why I think that clairaudient message just came through. So whoever that needs to resonate with, let it resonate with. Harmonious vibes. I'm excited about today's messages. Harmonious vibes are present or on the way if you don't feel it yet. So we got new beginnings, we got luxury coming, and we got harmonious vibes. I'm excited. How's this relating to you all?
It's everything. I mean, look at my
That was
background.
awesome. Yes, I love that message.
And this new hair, I was gonna say, new beginnings.
Yes,
They call me Big Chop Sosa now, y'all.
Yes, we gave her that name when she
Cutting out
decided
the
to do the
bullshit.
big chop. Yes, she's real quick with the chops, man. She be cutting it out.
Yeah, shout out to Kiwi, Erica's partner, who initiated this hair ceremony, and all of my lovely, beautiful goddesses on this call, plus Jess took a part of that. We'll get into that later. But back to your cards. Yes, I've been doing a lot of shadow work here because there's no other way to be on an island long term without really looking at yourself and being self-aware. If you want to survive and be balanced and find the harmony you need. Something that got to me today, I was just like, damn, the universe is fucking really kicking my ass. And I feel very humbled though, because I know that when I hit this like wall, we all have walls. we like, I know something else is coming. Like the spirit will take you there to see it, to be like, all right, we're going to clear this. And on an island, you're surrounded by water. That shit happens fast. So like new beginnings, the Fool also reminds me to like take risks, and take the chances, and also I think of like the inner child innocence, of following the heart, the joy of new things and new beginnings, because new beginnings could be really scary because a lot of trauma can come but attached to it. For me, that's totally it, like safety. You don't know the future. You're literally in a new place. You don't know that many people, et cetera, et cetera.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. The Fool also, does speaks to the inner child, and even that trickster energy too. Like, sometimes we learn lessons through just being playful and just playing around as well. So I really love that. What's going on with you, Raina?
Yeah.
I especially love that message because all day I have been journaling in my journal. I just put my journal down. I've been journaling all these like money affirmations and trying to get really specific about what I'm going to call in. And my Erica's Archer's Oracle deck came in that's all about money, came in today as well. So I'm like, oh my God, those cards were amazing. I was writing in my journal about all these new things that I want to call in. And then harmonious vibes, that's everything. That's everything we needed more. Plus the luxury, we've been saying, I'm all acting like you guys have been a part of our personal conversations. We have been saying as a group that we have been trying to call in more luxury, not only for ourselves, but just in general, because just because we're on a spiritual journey doesn't mean we can't have nice things. Can't mean, we can't enjoy the finer things in life, which we are doing at the same time, as well as doing the shadow work and healing ourselves and others in the community in ways that we can. So this is just a great message. I'm loving it for number 3.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to also say luxury is something that I've denied myself, and I know a lot of Black and brown people do too, because a lot of us grow up in certain situations where we don't have those experiences. And so for me, being 33 to get to Hawaii is like a fucking dream come true. And I know other people have been like, well, I've been here every summer, or like, I've gone here since I was 7. It's like, bruh. And I've been very fortunate. My luxury has also been working with a group called Melanation out here, which is really bringing Black and Brown people together on island, which is not many of us, but it's like it's something very rich that's definitely growing.
That's beautiful. I love it. I can also relate to, I don't know if I would say I denied myself luxury necessarily, but maybe I didn't understand what luxury meant, or at least what it meant to me for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess in my head, I was always thinking in terms of the definition of like, oh, a luxury, you live in a mansion and you have a Ferrari, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
in that way, I had this view of like, man, I don't have luxury, you know, and for the longest I was like, I don't have luxury, you know, but I do have luxury. As time goes on, I realized that, you know, those things are cool. And, you know, maybe one day I will have a Ferrari or something, but the biggest luxury that I appreciate the most is my inner peace, and also freedom, the freedom to make my own schedule and the freedom to work remotely so that I can go to Hawaii with Sosa or something like that. So I definitely have luxury, and I have gratitude for that. And even the small things, like for some of you who don't necessarily relate to my narrative, like maybe your luxury is, you know, you just get to have a day to yourself today and you can drink some wine and watch a Netflix. That to me is a freaking luxury, and I love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
luxury is lots of things. It's just redefining what it is for you, I guess.
Hmm.
Yes, 100%. I think it was funny when you're saying that you didn't really deny yourself luxury, because I definitely feel like I was one of those people that would be like, no, you gotta like get to this level of savings, or I'll tell myself like, oh no, like you need to like work harder. Like I'm a Virgo, guys. I'm a Virgo sun, Virgo Mercury. Okay. So like working is like, and like being productive is like everything. And then I'm a Mars and Cancer. So I'm like, oh, well, like you got to take care of business. You got to handle this and that. I'm like, what business? What do I got to take care of? I can't have something nice. I remember I denied myself something so long because I said I would have too much fun using it. And I was like, wait, what? I'm having too much
Mm.
fun and I'm denying myself this? Let me go buy that. Like,
Mm. Luxury and fun. I like that.
they go
Yeah.
hand in hand. And so,
Yeah,
unlike
man.
Erica said, for me, like what was a luxurious buy was buying a very colorful painting palette and painting with that. And I was
Virgo.
telling myself, yeah, I know exactly. Or like buying a 30 color pen set because it has a bunch of different colors in it. Like
Super
it's like
Virgo.
a luxurious thing to me. Like that's gonna make my life so much better and happier, and I'm gonna feel so nice with my smooth writing pen. So don't deny yourself the luxurious things, y'all. That is, if it makes you feel luxurious, go ahead and do the thing.
Exactly. And it's a
Yeah.
feeling. I feel like that's an important point. Luxury should be a feeling because it should be born, or you should give birth to it in the inner world so that you can know what you truly want, and that it's in alignment of the feeling. And I think that should go for all manifestation, really. Like, what does it feel like? Most times we want freedom, we want balance, we want harmony, we want peace, we want love, etc.
Yeah, you just brought up balance. And speaking of that, like even when it comes to, I know one of the things for me that I've been trying to find the balance of is saving, like Raina said, saving, but also money is meant to flow. You can't harbor it all and be scared to spend it,
Mm,
or that becomes a poverty mindset. Or you can't, you know, so
mm,
finding the balance of knowing what's necessity, but also enjoying when you can. Like it's okay to enjoy things here and there, as long as obviously you want to be smart about things. But I remember there was a time period where I was scared to spend any money, like because it's like, okay, well, I don't need this right now. And then what if I need it later? But if you always think about like, well, what if I need it later? Then guess what? You're gonna manifest something to where you're gonna need it later, and it won't be for something fun. So I know somewhere along the line, and I can't remember exactly where I got this idea originally from, but they were speaking of like when you're saving, instead of saving for, as people say, like a rainy day, because if you save for a rainy day, there's gonna be a rainy day. But instead, if you save for a goal in the future, that just completely shifts the energy. And so therefore, at some point, like if you do have to tap into that money, it's just got a different vibration, and you can still save to the goal, towards a goal, but it just brings in more of a fun, peaceful, exciting way of putting money aside. And so I've been incorporating that as well when I'm finding the balance of luxury and spending and all that stuff.
Investing in yourself. That's what I just thought of. Like, we need to know how to like really invest in ourselves and not just invest in material things. And I'm gonna say gold chains because it's like the first thing I thought of. Like material things in the sense of accumulating things that like will not bring you the success or the harmony or the new foundation that you want. If you're setting a goal, make sure that you're doing something different to like work towards that goal, not repeating the same habits or the same patterns.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, I love how what you said about changing our attitude towards saving. Also, that's been something that I've been trying to do because, like, saving for a rainy day, I hated that thing. I'm like, rainy day, like, why does it have to rain? Like, I mean, like, and also, it's like you guys are shaming the rain. Rain's not that bad, guys. Rain is really good, and
Yeah.
which is something I had to learn as a kid. I did not like the rain, so that's something that I learned throughout life. But I like that you said that we need to save for like a goal or for like if you're going to go on a trip or you're going to treat yourself or something like that. We can, save and also enjoy good nice things, you know what I mean? Just, make smart choices. Like if you know that this is going to set you back later, then don't put yourself out there. But if you have faith, and know that this is going to come back to you or whatever the case may be, it will, you know what I mean? I think it's a matter of the energy that we put towards spending. Like I recently had to change my energy towards like paying my bills. I used to be like, oh man, bill time. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm thankful that I have the funds to be able to pay these bills on time or buy whatever it is I need and do whatever it is that I need to do. Because sometimes there's like those annoying things that you have to buy, like antivirus protection for your computer. Like that's such
That's why I got a Mac.
right. That's why I was thinking about getting a Mac, but I recently switched teams and I'm like, God, this is annoying. Like this is an annoying thing, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna be happy that I can afford this and my computer's safe and it's gonna protect me and it's not a waste of my money. I have to like tell myself because sometimes there's certain things that we need to buy, but we're like, oh, that's such a waste. But that's our energy towards it. We have to like change our attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I have a little trick or spell that I do for that.
Yes,
and,
I love Erica's spells.
Yes.
Me too.
And it's kind of tying you back to the card of the day, which harmonious vibes, like flip it to spending it in a harmonious way. So if I spend something for something like antivirus protection or something, and I'm like, I then say, okay, but you know what? This is going to return to me tenfold for positive, happy reasons, effortlessly and easily. Thank you. So it is. So every time it's like, you know what? When I start to see it begin to play out, maybe it's not always immediately though. Like it's sometimes in here or there, more money's coming in here, or somebody pays for this for me over here. So I keep the money with me. When I start to see those things happen, I start to get excited about actually spending, because then it's like, all right, rent's due. Okay, it's going to return to me tenfold and for positive reasons. You know what I mean? So that's a little something I do to make it harmonious when we got to do stuff like pay for a business license or something, because I went through that. But like, things like that.
Yes, I love that. Do the spells, all the spells for everything.
I was reminded even just last night talking to Spirit, like money is energy though. Like at the end of the day, we have to remember that we're like these infinite beings living this human experience, and we can have anything. And if we have a blockage of money, because I'm not saying don't manifest money, but I think for me, when I get too critical or too detailed, I'm missing out on the fun of, because money should be fun. Money should be fun making it, fun spending it, fun being generous with it. And that's something I've been asking Spirit, like part of my money manifestation is to be generous with other people. And maybe I don't know what aspect of my astrology chart that is, but I've always been that person. I like, let me treat you to dinner. Like, I remember our last date with Erica. We went by the water. We went to get seafood because that's like Erica's favorite thing. And I fucking just love treating people to food. And we had food, we had beer, we had ice cream. I haven't had dairy in like freaking 2 years. And I was like, fuck it, Erica, we about to do this.
Yes.
And we had so much fun. And then Erica manifested the fee to be waived for her license that she was
Yes.
supposed to pay, that she was going through. And I was just like, let's just have fun, Erica. And then the next day it got resolved. And see, like, it's just working with that. I guess it's working with our shadow in the sense where we have to acknowledge this shadow. 'Cause sometimes we like to bypass it and sugarcoat it with more manifestations and more manifestations and not getting to the root of, okay, why am I not able to feel free with just money, period? You know, it's kind of like, talk to the essence of money. Like, if money was standing right next to you, if money was taking you on a date today, like, what would it say? How would it show up? What would it look like?
Yeah. Sosa took me on a good date, y'all. She's a good date.
I was about to say, Sosa's a good day, y'all. Y'all better watch out.
Yeah.
Mr. Your girl over here, okay?
That day was really
Watch
fun.
out.
That was a really fun day.
Money.
And I love how you did that too, how you really manifested that like instantly. You were like,
She
oh, I'm
did.
kind of worried. You were like, no, I'm good. And the next day, it paid. I was like, yes.
We worked through it though. We definitely talked about it during our date.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole point why I took Erica out, because I was feeling like my sis needed to be pulled out of her current situation. She was thinking too much of the situation. I was like, ah. I just came back in town from flying from
She
somewhere
chopped
else.
it out, y'all.
I chopped it out. I was like, all right, Erica, let's go have fun. Because that's what it is. Like, again, it comes back to like the whole human experience, y'all. Like, how do we want to live this? And for me, it's like, not only do I want to live with freedom, but I want to show up as my highest potential so I can serve.
Yes. And you know what? Talking through it with you during that time too, like you were saying, money is energy. And even if you think about money now, like most of it is not even tangible these days. It's in the virtual world. It's like all it is a matter of adding a zero here and a number here in the virtual world. It's like floating about literally in the waves. So money's energy. And when we're talking through it, what I realized, even after that whole experience, well, first of all, just having fun with you that day, it shifted my vibration, which then shifted the outcome quicker. But also I realized that just being fully transparent, which we're here to do, I realized it was tied to a fear of expansion for me. And so because I had an inner fear of expansion that I had to work through, because I also have this ongoing energy of healing and working through, like feeling like people don't actually see me. It was it's energy, so it's going to impact the money, because money is tied to your sense of value and worth. So it's like an energy currency. So once I realized all of that, and it's like, well, why the heck am I fearful to expand? I don't need to be. You know what? It's time to expand. And so the breakthrough came, and then I was able to expand in terms of like the logistics of business stuff, and then everything just kind of started falling back into place from there. So it's always going to be tied to something else that's not literally related to money, even though it can, like maybe the way my parents viewed money tied into it too as well, yes, but it's usually tied to something else, like some other emotional trauma or thing that you're attached to that has to be worked through.
Yes, it's funny that you say that, because I was writing this one affirmation a couple of times. I like this one. Money is safe for me to have, because I had a real like to shadow work with feeling safe with money, because there was times when I would have money and I would lose it, like it would disappear, like either I lost it, I dropped it, like something happened, wouldn't leave me, and I would be upset, like I'd be so mad at myself, because I'm like, how did I let this happen? So it came to the point where like I didn't feel safe with money. Like when I would get bigger, large amounts of money, I'd be like, oh no, like my heart, when I would get anxious, my heart, because I've lost, like, and I've lost like stupid amounts of money in the dumbest ways, and like it would make me so angry and frustrated. But I started to tell myself, like, it's obviously somebody else needed this money more than you if you were just able to lose it. And it's also just a lesson of just like not moving so fast. I noticed that when I just move too fast, like things just don't go the way they're
Mhm.
supposed to. So that's really one thing that I've really been working on, is telling myself that money is safe with me. It's okay for me to have money. It's safe for me to have it. I'm like, also it's like I am financially free and financially stable in whatever way that needs to show up in my life. So I also am like trying to understand that, like you said, money is not to be held on to, like,
Mm-mm.
because then when I got scared of losing money, I started holding on to it. And I think it's because I was holding on so tightly that it was slipping out of my hands, because I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do, because I'm like, oh no, I got to hold on to it. I can't go nowhere. I'm going to lose it. So, and then once I started kind of being more free with the exchange of money, like, oh, it's going to come back to me. Like, it's okay. Like, I can't just hold on to it. Started making more money than ever. So it's just, you really got to sit with yourself and ask yourself, like, what are you really afraid of? Like how Erica said, and I have similar fears of expansion. I have the like fear of like, can I handle the success? Like, can I maintain and have stable, success through over time, long lasting longevity? But I can. It's just a matter of, am I willing to do the work? And once I realized it's that simple, it was easier to move on. But yeah, money is something you guys got to work with, and it's important because, like you said, everything changes. Your whole energy around everything is changing. So do it, y'all. I know it's tough, but ask the questions.
Yes.
It's kind of like those topics, like, what is it, like the three things you don't talk about: religion, sex, and money. And I'm like, oh, let's talk about all of it.
Yeah. Well,
Chopping
my
up the
favorite
riff.
things to
She's
talk
cutting
about.
it up.
No, for real though. Let's talk about all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got money out of the way. We got religion out of the way out of our, was it like episode 2?
Yeah.
Erica went hella
Yes.
in. And if y'all haven't watched episode 2, you gotta go back and watch that. And
It's been
then
that real.
we gonna talk about sex because a friend, my housemate, we were talking about dating life on island, because it's like, you're
Oh.
on an island, you're fresh meat, you're new, like
Oh.
people see you. So I was just like, girl, I don't be chasing stuff, I be attracting stuff. And my spirit was like, I went for a walk later, and my spirit was like checking me on that statement, because it was like, do you feel the same way about money? And I was like, oh, because it's true. Like, even when it's like, I have to have enough for this, or I have to have enough for this week, or need to have for this, it's kind of like you're kind of chasing it, versus trusting the universe. And like where I am too, you already know, like I'm in a void. Like I'm really jumping in, being the total leap of faith, full energy, like in the sense of like, yeah, trusting the universe that I'm in the right place at the right time, and that I am the magnet for what I need, the resources that I need, which comes with a lot of shadow work. And shadow work is really being aware of your body as well, because your body will tell you when something's up. Like we tense up, or we can break out in our face, lose our hair, become constipated, lose appetite. There's many things that our body does to let us know that there's something off here. And sometimes we've gotten so used to it, that what our body does, because we're so stuck in that timeline, that time loop of this is how I do things, that we don't check ourselves. We don't spend time to really evaluate our actions. And self-awareness is key. And I know y'all been doing a lot of shadow work too, because y'all went through a whole social media break, and I want to talk a little bit about that and what experience that was for y'all, because I've been on a over 2 months, I want to say, social media break, and I just completely deactivated everything, jumping on soon-ish, maybe, I don't know. It's just a really different realm. But yeah, tell us about your social media break.
So Raina and I decided to do this together as accountability partners.
Yes.
And learned a lot during that time. I I know I didn't deactivate anything. I just removed the apps from my phone so that I couldn't go in and check, because what I did notice the first 2 days, muscle memory, my finger just kept going right on over to where it was. And then I'm like, oh, it's not there. Oh yeah, I'm on a break.
That's so funny.
And I know Raina was saying the same thing to her, going on with her. So I definitely noticed how people say ignorance is bliss. That particular week, I definitely felt that was true, because I did have people texting me like, oh, did you see this and did you see that? Because that particular week, I won't get into too many details, but there was a lot going on with worldwide politics and like images being shown all over social media. And I was like, no, I didn't see any of it because I'm not on social media right now. And so I was like, okay, give me a quick highlight, but I didn't want to go into detail, because what I realized is when it's not constantly in your face, it literally is not a part of your reality. So therefore it is not affecting you personally. So I was not personally affected by um, what was going on, when normally as a impacting being, when I see images, I take on the energy. And so that was not the case this time, because I wasn't seeing it, because I wasn't on social media. Um, Also, I had felt more present in the moment. Like I had more time to do shadow work, but I also felt happier because I didn't have to be bombarded with this person's opinion on this or that person's opinion on that, or this political meme or this medical meme. None of that. So I had more time to just sit with self. I felt happier. My I went through another level of ascension with intuition, I feel. So my intuition felt heightened during that time. And I just noticed the little silly things that we do. And it's not to say social media is all silly. Obviously, I do personally, I love social media because it connects me to clients and expanding to meet people. So it's great for what it is. But I do feel like there's a lot of silliness as well. And I didn't feel as much of the any energy vampires or energy leeches stuck onto me that I usually feel when I'm tapped in to social media. So that's what I took away. What about you, Raina?
It was great. Thank you, Erica, for inviting me on this social media detox. We need to do this more often. Well, I mean, I was kind of slowly getting on social media less after I went to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii in the beginning of July, and then it was Erica's birthday. We went to Joshua Tree, and it was so hot over there that our phones were not working. Our phones were like, it's too hot, bro. Like, put us down. So we all couldn't really use our phones. We have to take a couple pictures here and there. So that was kind of like us slowly getting into it. And we kind of realized that when we came back from Joshua Tree, we like went to this park in Long Beach, and we were like, why is everybody like, you could like feel like so much energy, like all the people around were like weirding us out a little bit, because we were like, we had been so isolated in the desert. There's like no other energy out there besides us and the desert and the sky and anything else
And
that was
that
out
hot
there.
ass heat,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that next level
bruh.
mentally challenging heat. So like I felt weird coming back to like society and like being around people. And then we're like, all right, let's take this little break. So I did the same thing as Erica. I deleted the apps off my phone. I didn't go as hard as deactivated. That sounds like it would be even more of like a chop of like energy, you know what I mean?
Chopping it
Because
all
we
up, y'all.
yes, chopping it all off. And because we definitely felt the how do you call it, the difference in energy. I felt more present. I felt like the morning time was, I felt a really big shift, because sometimes, you know, the first thing you do is like grab your phone, check the phone, or sometimes you go through any notifications that you might have had and from the night before. And waking up was a completely different experience. Time felt different. I felt a lot more present. I felt like time was moving slower. In a way, I thought it was going to move faster, but I felt like time was moving slower. I was like, oh, like I can feel every moment in a way. I was started reading my books more, and that was really nice to get into that meditative state and reading. Go to the library, y'all. Go read some books. Like it's way better than reading on social media. Like I was like, ew, like how did I like reading like on the phone? Like it's such a different experience. But I also agree with Erica. There was that muscle memory, like the first 2 to 3 days. I was like, where's the oh, we deleted it. Like, and I thought that was hilarious, but also like scary because I'm like, oh my God, why could I just like automatically go do this without even thinking? Like I just like you just open your phone and you go try to look for it. And I was like, what am I looking for? I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. Like, why am I just automatically looking for Twitter or Instagram or something? But it also made me think about I sat in a couple moments of silence because just to like see what that was like. I feel like I hadn't done that in a while. And I was like, dang, it's so like peaceful and interesting and revealing being in the silence, like hearing what comes up mentally and what you just feel in your body. I definitely feel like my intuition definitely did get a little bit more heightened as well. Like Erica said, like I felt like I was very here, if that makes sense. And I used to be not in the social media, but like I could feel its energy a lot more. So we highly recommend taking a break, like 2 weeks, a week, or just like a couple of days, and just see how you guys
Or
feel.
months.
Go outside, or months, however long you feel called to.
Fuck
Honestly,
it.
because yeah, you don't really need it. Like you really don't. And that's what I think was another fun thing, is that you realize how much you don't need it. Of course, I do enjoy the memes sometimes, not gonna lie. Like I like to laugh, but also I can make myself laugh and other things like that, read a funny book, whatever the case may be. But take the break, y'all, and tell us how you feel, because we had an amazing experience and we love to inspire you guys to go do the same thing. And tell us there's not a difference, because we know there is. We know there is.
Yeah, and I will say though, unless you are a content creator or like an influencer in that regard, if you literally make your money from social media, then you do need it. But I definitely encourage like a week off at least. Like I did. I plan on trying to do a week a month moving forward, because you can afford to take a week off like during that like if you are a content creator. um then what I was doing was I was recording material still. I just wasn't taking the time to edit and post it and then interact with the comments, because all of that can be very draining. So, I had enough content so that once I was back on, I was like, okay, well, this is all done. I don't have to worry about recording. I can just edit a little bit and pop it up. So I definitely, it's important. I think definitely if you are a content creator, because then you almost spend a life online. So you need that break for sure. So yes, please do it.
I want to add to that, because the epiphany that I had too, why I got off of there, is because like, first of all, we're like the last generation. Well, Erica and I are kind of like the last generation before the internet.
Oh my God.
So like we obviously know life without the internet is fucking possible. And secondly, as a content creator, if people really want to fuck with you, they'll go to your website. They'll find you. So yes, we could use social media, but again, we could have anything, and we could work through our businesses any way we want. So if something is draining us, it's like we have to find balance in that so that it's fun. Like I'm coming back to this like whole Leo moon energy of like having fun with what we do, and it's a tool. And if it becomes draining, maybe like manifest someone to assist you, eventually to have the budget to do that. I mean, there's plenty of people who love that. Again, I just feel like we have used like social media as like people have abused, I should say, it in a way to create false realities, or realities that are manipulative, dark agendas. And it was supposed to a way for, I guess, us to evolve as a society. But to be honest, more people have died off the internet or because of the internet than anything out there. Anything out there. Why? Because things travel so fast, and it's like the week that y'all got off of social media, there were all these things happening. And again, I'm not saying that these things are not happening, but do we know if all of this is true? Do we know how long ago this happened? Like, and this has been happening in the Middle East for forever, y'all, forever. And I'm happy in the sense it came out, because it's getting people to have deeper conversations, which is why it's great to have the social media and Twitter for that same reason, to have conversations. But again, it's like we can't be attacking each other on social media. And if you're hiding behind a screen talking shit or attacking people, you're petty, you know, and you need to do your own fucking shadow work, because it's like, we need to know how to have conversations, and people are really losing interpersonal skills. Like,
Yeah.
if you look around, I mean, not in Hawaii, you don't see it as much, but
It's
in the
bad,
mainland,
y'all.
it's really bad, y'all. And imagine what that's doing to our spine if we're like this all the time.
Oh yeah.
We got
Oh
to be very
yeah, I was
mindful
just
I'm
actually
all like,
reading there's
let
this
me
new
sit straight.
thing that
to know.
chiropractors are doing that, like, apparently because people are looking at their phones so much, people are getting like humps like on the back of their
Yep.
neck, and like there's like
Mhm.
it's like a new neck crick, like a crick in your neck type thing called, that has to do with being on your phone so much from
Yep.
looking down like all the
I'm not
time, and
surprised.
like yeah, so it's something else. It's really interesting seeing the way it's affecting people, because I had internets, like I think I first got it when I was like shoot, like the
Longer.
end of elementary school, like well, social media was didn't really become a thing till like a middle school, had like Facebook, MySpace, and all that stuff. So when I was in middle school or high school and stuff like that, and I think it's crazy seeing how much it's changed. Like you said, like the abuse of it is real. Like people, there's that whole cancel culture thing and all types of weird divisions that are happening through the internet, when it's really, we need to come together. So I think we're really
Yes.
forgetting the real purpose of why the internet was created, for us
Exactly.
to come together instead of us to divide even further. And I think that's what's happening right now. So more power to you guys. Make your own choices.
Also, radiation. Like radiation coming to your phone, and y'all know I'm a big fan of airplane mode, so I dislike
She
phones
abuses the
around me.
airplane mode button.
Like, I love airplane mode on my phone. I didn't even have a phone for like a whole year and a half a few years ago, because I was just like, fuck connecting with people. And to be honest, I'm not really on my phone, like, or even on social media. Like, I had cut ties with even just talking to people through DMs, because it just becomes a lot of energy. And literally, like, it's kind of like, if you are going to dedicate your time on social media, make it an appointment with yourself. Organize it so that you have certain hours or even certain days, and maybe some days off during the week. So maybe it doesn't have to be a whole week, but like certain days are like your off days. But do it with intention. If you're going to have an off day too, like, what is your intention to have a break from social media, and how do you bring more balance? Because then if you take a break and then you go back to do the same fuckery, what are we doing? I'm just saying.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I also I'm trying to remember, Raina made a point and I wanted to comment on it. Well, I'm just thinking back, oh, the evolution of it all too. Like, even just thinking back to when I first got my first social media.
Facebook?
This is gonna tell my age for real. Like, I had 2 pages. Back in the day, there was Black Planet, and then
Ooh,
there was
MySpace.
also there was also Mi Gente, and
Oh my God. Yes. Tell them. Tell them.
those are my first connecting with people, because I wanted to connect with melanated people. And then it was MySpace, you know, good old Tom. And I remember I remember when Facebook started, and it was just for college students only.
Yeah.
You had to be a college student. And I remember all that. And in that way, it was really cool, because you could stay like in connection with you know, maybe your other friends that went off to college, or just meet other college students. And so in that way, it was really cool. But then it started evolving into anybody could get on. And then all of a sudden parents started getting on, and it just became a whole different thing. And the evolution has been quite interesting of social media. I definitely do worry about the younger generations. Even like my niece, for example, my niece is 10. And like like the filters and stuff, like I hear of people actually getting plastic surgery to look like filters, to look like these filters and things like this. So and that way, it's getting kind of disturbing in that way. And I can be guilty of sometimes of jumping on live, for example, to do a talk for my YouTube, and I put on a filter, and then sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, why am I putting on a filter right now? I will catch myself. But it's becoming a problem when you begin to feel like you need it, or you feel like you don't want to post content, for example, because you didn't have a filter on that day. And I see that changing people's mentality in the way of like what we see as beautiful. And that's a little disturbing, to be honest.
100%. I know a lot of people, especially my age. I'm like 25 now, just turned 25 this week. Ooh, ooh. But I know a lot of people my age that have really these
I
filters
yelled
have
out,
gotten them twisted.
"Hey!" I was on mute.
Hey, yes, birthday.
Happy birthday right now!
Yes, thank you. A lot of people my age, like especially with these filters that make your lips bigger, people want to get lip plumpers, people want to get nose jobs because they narrow your nose. I was actually reading some psychologists talk about that there is things like called like Snapchat dysmorphia or like filter dysmorphia, to where people are really like will take a picture of themselves with a filter on, go to plastic surgeons and tell them, I want to look like this. Like, what do we need to do? And they'll be like, oh, a little rhinoplasty, a little snip here or there, whatever, you know what I mean? And it is becoming a huge business, and it's getting younger and younger, especially because of TikTok and stuff like that. I seen this girl getting a BBL, which is called a Brazilian butt lift, which is that is the real pandemic, is Brazilian butt lifts. Those are a pandemic in the community.
You'll be dying off of this shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Dying.
BBLs and breast implants are the two most dangerous, life-threatening plastic surgeries that you can get. And what is everyone getting? Those two things, because they see everybody have it, and people are like, oh, like people are tripping about hip dips and things like that. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, what? I didn't even know that was a thing. But it's because people.
Hip dip? What the fuck is a hip dip?
So apparently, there's certain women that their hips don't go out, and that's like, you know how out is like the
certain women,
BBL,
like white women,
like our
no, not just white women. A lot of different. So
I was just very curious what market are we talking about, because we ain't all the same. Some of us have been very blessed.
No, I've seen like black women that have it, and Asian women, Mexican. It gets all women. So it's basically the hips, your bones are dipped inside, and sometimes when you take a little bit of a picture, you know, booty ain't poking out as fat as it could. You didn't have a hip dip. But also, I think that's another problem with our we like over sexualize the woman's body, like the woman body, and to only look good for a man, like because a man thinks that Kim Kardashian's booty looks good, or whoever is big BBL fake booty looks good. You want to go get a fake booty, but what about you? Do you love your booty? Like, little booties matter too, okay?
Yes,
little hip dips matter too, okay? Little titties matter too. You know what I mean? But we get so obsessed with looking good for this other person, but it's like, what about you? Do you look good for you? Like, you think you're cute? You don't have, you know? And I think we get so caught up in what society wants us to look like, and what we think that society wants from us. What do you want from you? How do you want to look? Do you want to dress like every other person, or do you want to be your own individual person with your own body? Like, we're copying and pasting bodies at this point. So social media has, like, it can be used as a tool for knowledge, 100%, but also it could be detrimental to people's mental health when you're just looking at models. Like, I had to unfollow a lot of people because I was like, why am I following you? What content do you bring to my life? Oh, you got a pretty face and a big butt. Like, why was I following you in the first place? Unfollow.
I've done that too.
And because my Virgo self, I get curious. I'm like, what do you do for a living? What is this? Like, I just get curious because I'm like, how do you have all these follow? And then I'm like, wait, why?
They're just bots too, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're just like here to distract me. So I'm like, let me just. Don't get distracted, y'all. Focus on the real mission, because at the end of the day, all this work that people are getting done, it's gonna need maintenance. It's expensive, and it's life-threateningly dangerous. So just think a little bit.
Kanye's mom transitioned.
Yep. I just recently read an article about this girl. She went to Brazil to get a Brazilian butt lift because it was cheaper. That's another thing. People go into other countries to get this.
Colombia.
Yeah, or Colombia, and she died from a butt lift surgery. Like, come on, guys.
I wonder what their soul says after that happens. Like,
bro,
your soul transitions, and then it's like, fuck. That's the biggest
right.
fuck.
You know what though? As you were talking, I was actually getting a download too. And so Spirit wanted to say, even though like we have genuine concerns about, the filters and the fakeness, but I actually just heard that them talking about how at some point, I don't know exactly when, but at some point the realness is gonna start to be appreciated again. Like so I do feel, you know how history repeats itself. Um, like little booties are gonna come back in style. Like you think of like Aaliyah, for example. Like Aaliyah, she didn't have hourglass figure, but Aaliyah's classically beautiful. I'm talking about Aaliyah
Perfect
Hawthorne.
example.
For the young ones that don't know who Queen Aaliyah is, you should know. Um, so like
Or
for
maybe you
example,
shouldn't be
her body.
listening to this if you don't know who Aaliyah is. That's sad.
You have to know.
Yeah.
That's really sad. Anyways.
Requirement, prerequisite to watch
Yeah,
the bridge
prerequisite.
between.
Seriously.
Don't listen to Aaliyah's just whole discography.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
but natural bodies are gonna come back in style. And I'm not just talking about Aaliyah's body type. I'm talking about just like all body types. People are just gonna get to a point where they are gonna crave something real. And so whether you are Aaliyah's body type or Lizzo's body type, like I feel like people are gonna start to crave something real so that and appreciate that. I don't know when, but I feel like it's gonna get there because history repeats itself. So just if you're considering getting the BBL or something, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your body. Do what makes you feel happy, but there are health concerns, there's money concerns, and then just keep in mind that what if the trend changes a year from now, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden people want because Aaliyah's body type, or they want Lizzo's body type, for example, you know what I mean? So something to think
But
about.
also, if people are really spending money on plastic surgery during a pandemic, like what are we really doing? Like, how are we really investing in the change that we want to see in the world? Because what is our body? We're not our body. We're one with our body. This is like our vehicle, like our car. But at the end of the day, shouldn't we be looking at our spirit? Shouldn't we be seeing people for what is in their heart?
Yeah, I do feel like we should definitely be seeing people for what's in their heart. I do feel that. I do know though, because I have some close personal friends. I'll just give an example. I'm not gonna obviously say her name or anything, but like I know she has had some issues with like how she views her nose her whole life, for example. And she's tried to do shadow work, she's tried to do a whole lot, but like there's still this part of her that just really wants it done. And so in that way, like I can understand people like if they do have the luxury of having the money and if they do like do it safely. I can't say that I'm against plastic surgery, but I definitely agree that we need to be looking at somebody's heart because like you said, we are not our body. And our body's always changing too. Like Raina said, maintaining. So you get it done. And then when you turn 60, like what's going to happen to that altercation that happened on your body? You know what I mean? So just keeping the big picture in mind.
I'm gonna cut the bullshit, and I don't agree with it at all, which is fine because it's like it's just like we gotta think about long term. Like the economy's fucking falling, y'all. The dollar is crashing, and you know how you gonna feed yourself when that happens? Because a nose job won't do it. And I've actually had someone who had an emotional breakdown after her nose job didn't come out the way she wanted. And she didn't receive the response from me, which was cuddling her. And I basically got to the core issue of she doesn't accept herself because she didn't accept herself then. She doesn't accept herself now. So we're back at square one. And you're not going to get it back. So you have to deal with this. And now you have to live with something you don't like. You know, and I again, at the end of the day, we're all mirrors, y'all. If you're out here really comparing yourself to other people, and it's always going to come back to you. Again, we're infinite beings. Our soul literally chose to look like this. Your nose maybe represents your great grandfather, you know, and then maybe that is your lineage. Maybe you don't look like anybody else. Amazing. We don't celebrate uniqueness enough. And I think that's something to fucking really dive into, that like we're supporting an industry that was made to honestly a lot of these people who get plastic surgeries want to look African. They do things like the corset was built so that white women could create a waist and have more bust to look like their maids and their nannies that were black. So the history of plastic surgery, no one really fucking talks about that shit. But at the end of the day, y'all, in my opinion and in my spiritual journey, like, it's all an illusion. If we think about lifetimes, I've had other bodies. I've seen myself in other bodies. I'm gonna celebrate the one I came into because I made it this far.
Yeah. And this is why I love Sosa, you guys, because it's like, and this is why I love all y'all, because it's like, we can have these conversations and Sosa's like, you know what? With love, I don't agree. You know what I mean? Like, I love that.
Big chop,
I
big
love
chop.
that.
She's like, love y'all, but nah.
Yeah, but these things are good because it even shows you, just even on the, because we're on the topic of social media, etc.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a slightly different perception from somebody else and still talk it through respectfully. You don't have to like go wild. You know what I mean? Like, so and that's cool. Like, I definitely agree with a lot of what Sosa said, but I do still have a slightly different perception, and that is okay, y'all. So it's like,
totally fine.
you don't have to be on the same page with everybody all the time.
Yes, exactly. Like, I feel and completely understand where Sosa's coming from about plastic surgery, because there are it does stem from you not accepting yourself at the end of the day, and that's really the root cause. And also, just picking up on what you said of like, she didn't like the way it looked afterwards. There is like a whole TV show called Botch about all the messed up plastic surgeries that people have done, and they're stuck
They
with
fucking
it.
made it a business.
Yeah,
A whole
exactly.
market.
It's like become
a whole market.
it's a business, and you have to understand that these people that you think are helping you become that version of yourself that you see in your mind, they're really just profiting off you in a way. But I mean, obviously, I understand there's people that get rhinoplasty because when they take a deep breath, their nose like closes. Like, I've seen that. Like,
That is very different.
That's a medical.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a medical reason for people to get plastic surgery. Or you get into a car accident, you get your face reconstructed because you scraped your face on the ground. Like, that makes complete sense. We get that, guys. We completely are not shaming you or trying to put you guys down, but we also want you to think of the real reason why you're doing this. Is it for you, or is it for other people? And also, if it's for you because to make yourself more comfortable, why don't you feel comfortable now? Because what? Why? Who said something to you? Like, where'd that come from? You know what I mean? Really get to the root of it. And if you can look at the root of the situation and still tell yourself, you know what, I still would, really want this, but you have to do it with the intention of like, this is really going to affect me in a good way. Because you can't just do it like, oh, I want to go back again. I want to do this. I want to do it. Because that's how it starts. It becomes an addiction. That's also another thing. In psychology, we talked about that people get addicted. They started getting addicted to making changes to their bodies. And it becomes like a game to them. And yes, I get it. We are our avatars in our body, in the simulation and stuff like that. But also, it's like, why can't you just love your avatar with the way you were gifted? And like, I love how you brought up this is your ancestors' face or body, because I used to just like my nose or just like my hair, because it wasn't straight like everyone else's, and my nose is bigger, my lips were bigger, and thankfully the style has changed. So I'm socially accepted now. I can have my curly hair and my big lips, and it's not a big deal. But also, I was going through family photos and realized I'm the only person in my family that looks like my dad's mom. Just me, my dad's mom, and I look like them. You know what I mean? And even though I was never physically connected to that part of my family, I never met them, I never seen them, only through pictures. It makes me feel like family, like we really are related, because I have their face, and I'm gonna pass down their face, and I'm gonna pass down this body and this skin, and like, it makes me just feel closer to them. So really, like, look at your family, y'all, and be like, you are a whole, like, ancestors' dream. You know what I mean? If they can see you, they'll be like, oh, child, look at you. You look so cute. You know what I mean? We're over here thinking that we're nothing when our ancestors like, girl, you was the finest thing I've ever seen. And you look like me. Like, what?
I was going to say your face. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I can relate to that too, though, to be honest, because when I was younger, I used to get teased because of my nose, actually. The whole stereotypical, oh, Pocahontas, blah, blah, blah. Like, they used to tease me for and for a while I didn't like my nose, or they actually used to call me witch, actually, and now I'm like, yup, thank you, that's a compliment.
They knew your power.
Like, but yes, But I like that part about remembering your ancestors, because I noticed I actually have different shaped nostrils. One side looks like my mother's side, one side looks like my dad's side. And so it's like, it's literally embodying both sides. And I also
Yes.
noticed my grandfather on my paternal side, my grandpa Jasper. So yeah, I appreciate that too, because it's like, I used to hate my nose. And then I don't know, maybe it was college. During college, the shift happened as I was connecting with my heritage and learning about my ancestry. And I'm like, you know what? I see who I look like now. So that makes sense. So I like that perspective. I like reminding her. It's good to remind yourself of that. You know, got to work through the insecurities.
Yeah, totally. Erica, we're about time. Do you want to wrap it up? That was a really great conversation, by the way. I don't know how we got onto the topic of plastic surgery, but I think
but
because
it happened.
maybe the collective is getting desperate or bored, perhaps that's something that's going to be coming up, you know?
Heck yeah.
And I don't know if I want to say that's a luxury, but please question yourself if you really do think that's a luxury. That's just my opinion.
No, I was just saying in terms of if you have money that you can actually spend on something like that.
Yeah.
That's a good. But
Yeah, no, I think she's talking about how the card of the day kind of went with it.
Yeah.
Oh, got
That's
it.
what I was.
Okay. But yeah, that was cool. It all flowed together.
It did. It totally did.
Yes. Oh yes, hydrate.
All right, guys. So we're getting close to time. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in. Please share feedback, comment below, like join in the conversation. We love to hear that. We love to interact. We try to comment back with you guys when we can. You know, if you are seeing this on YouTube, please subscribe and share it around and share in any other platform. So if you feel like other people need to hear this message, get it on out there. Use the social media for good and spread it around. You know what I mean?
Yes, tell them.
So you guys can find me on social media on Instagram at Psychic Goddess Erica. That is Erica with a K, Erika. And also on my website, which Sosa created, thank you. It is www.psychicgoddesserica.com. Sosa, where can they find you?
Just here for now until further notice.
So
you're gonna
her face is like,
y'all gonna have to the bridge between 888 on Instagram and until further notice.
And you know what? If you do have something urgent that you want to get in contact with Sosa with, you can just let me know too. I will pass on the message, and that's completely fine.
They don't need to get a hold of me. They're fine. They're fine. They don't need to get a hold of me. They're good. Oh, I guess my website, lovequantumsoul.com as well. We'll share it links down here.
So sad to think about it. She was like, wait, do I have anything to give you guys? Nah. She's like, oh wait.
Okay, bye.
Well, she's an amazing website designer, y'all. Go check out Erica's website. It's awesome. She's a website designer. She does the things like that. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Reina La Flame. So REINA La Flame on Instagram and Twitter. And you can hit me up for, I don't know what you want to hit me up for. I would hope maybe a reading or talk about the podcast.
Definitely a reading. You're a great reader.
Yes, I was about to say, you could hit us all up for readings. Well, I don't know about Sosa right now. She might be booked. But yes, hit us up on the Instagrams for good things, for informational things. And we're here for you.
Yeah. So that's what we got going on for you guys. We love you. Thank you to all of you who subscribed so far. And again, if you do want to contribute to our content and our creativity, you can buy us a coffee. That again is buymeacoffee.com/bridgebetween. Guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Lots of love from Kauai.
Yes.